Yapan Yuro Bhakti Vinoda Pran Nama Bina Kichu Nahi Koara Choda Bhuvana Mahache Jeev Chako Gora Chanda Bole Kota Nidra Jayo Maya Pesa Chira Kole Baji Bopalia Ese Samsara Vitare Bhuliya Rohile Tumi Abidyara Bhore Tomare loeke ami Hainu avatara Ami binna bandhuar Kea chaitomara Enichi oshadi maya nashibara laki Harinama Maha Mantra Lo Tumi Mahaki Bhakti Vinoda Prabhu Charane Pariya Se Harinama Mantra Loilo Makia Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Bala Bhagirit Bharatari Gopi Jana Bala Bhagirit Bharatari Yashoda Nandana Braja Janaranjana Yashodanandana Brajajanaranjanha Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Nitai Gaur Haribo, 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 Nitai Gaur Haribo. Gaur Premanande. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Sarasatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudhirayat Nasta Praeshu Vabhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Utamashloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistaki. We're reading Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 5, Chapter 18, text number 1, right?
And 2.
Oh, 1 and 2, okay. Okay, so we'll read text 1 first. It's in prose, so I won't read the Sanskrit. We'll do the word meaning though. Shri Shuka Uvacha, Sukadev Goswami said, Tatacha, similarly, just as Lord Shiva worships Sankarshan in Ilavrita Bhadrashrava, Nama, known as Dharmasutta, the son of Dharmaraj, Tat, of him, Kulapataya, the chiefs of the dynasty, Purusha, all the residents, Bhadrashva Varshi, in the land known as Bhadrasva Varsha. Sakshad, directly. Bhagavata, of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Vasudevasya, of Lord Vasudev. Priyam Tanam, very dear form. Dharmamayim, the director of all religious principles. Hayashirsha Abhidanam, the Lord's incarnation named Hayashirsha, also called Hayagriva. Paramena Samadhina, with the highest form of trance. Sanidapya, coming near. Idam, this. Abhigrananta, chanting. Upadavanti, they worship. Translation. Sri Sukadeva Goswami said, Bhadrashrava, the son of Dharmaraj, rules the tract of land known as Bhadrashva Varsha. Just as Lord Shiva worships Sankarshan in Ilavrita Varsha, Bhadrashrava, accompanied by his intimate servants and all the residents of the land, worships the plenary expansion of Vasudev known as Hayashirsha. Lord Hayashirsha is very dear to the devotees, and he is the director of all religious principles. Fixed in the topmost trance, Bhadrashrava and his associates offer their respectful obeisances to the Lord and chant the following prayers with careful pronunciation. There's no purport, so we'll go on and read text number 2. Bhadrashravasa Uchu Om Namo Bhagavate Dharmai Atma Vishodhanaya Nama Iti Bhadrashravasva Uchu Om Namo Bhagavate Dharmayatma Vishodhanaya Nama Iti Bhadrashravasa Uchu Om Namo Bhagavate Dharmayatma Vishodhanaya Nama Iti Bhadrashravasva Uchu. The ruler Bhadrashrava and his intimate associates said, Om, O Lord, Namaha, respectful obeisances, Bhagavate, unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Dharmaya, the source of all religious principles, Atma Vishodhanaya, who purifies us of material contamination. Namaha, our obeisances. Iti, thus. Translation. The ruler Bhadrashrava and his intimate associates utter the following prayer. We offer our respectful obeisances unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the reservoir of all religious principles, who cleanses the heart of the conditioned soul in this material world. Again and again we offer our respectful obeisances unto him. Purport. by Srila Prabhupada. Foolish materialistic persons do not know how they are being controlled and punished at every step by the laws of nature. They think they are very happy in the conditioned state of material life, not knowing the purpose of repeated birth, death, old age, and disease. Therefore, in Bhagavad Gita 7:15, Lord Krishna describes such materialistic persons as mudhas, or rascals. Namam duskritino mudha prapadyante naradama. These mudhas do not know that if they want to purify themselves, they must worship Lord Vasudeva Krishna by performing penances and austerities. This purification is the aim of human life. This life is not meant for blind indulgence in sense gratification. In the human form, the living being must engage himself in Krishna consciousness to purify his existence. Tapo divyam putrikayena sattvam shuddhayat. This is the instruction of King Rishabdev to his sons. In the human form of life, one must undergo all kinds of austerities to purify his existence. Yashmad brahmashokyam tvanantam. We are all seeking happiness, but because of our ignorance and foolishness, we cannot know what unobstructed happiness really is. Unobstructed happiness is called brahmasokya, spiritual happiness. Although we may get some so-called happiness in this material world, that happiness is temporary. The foolish materialists cannot understand this. Therefore, Prahlad Maharaj points out, Maya Sukhaya Baram Udvahato Vimudhan. Merely for temporary materialistic happiness, these rascals are making huge arrangements, and thus they are baffled life after life. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chaksurunmilitanyena Tasmai Shri Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadhamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Bandeham Shri Guru Shri Yata Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sakrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Bitam Tam Sajevam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishaka Nitamscha Hey Krishna Karana Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastate Tapta Kanchana Gauranke Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Sarasati Deve Kauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Desatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhar, Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktavinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. All right, so text 17. Chapter 17, we were hearing about the descent of the river Ganges, right? We were told how the river Ganges comes into this material world, how Lord Vamanadev made a hole in the covering of the universe and the water came in. And then we're told how that water comes down, how it came first in the heavenly planets, and then they brought it to earth by the efforts of Maharaj Bhagirath. So it's sometimes called the Bhagirati, Maharaj Bhagirath. He brought the water down because he was descendant of Maharaj Sagar, and the sons of Maharaj Sagar had all been burned to ashes for their offense. So the only way they could deliver them from their offense was to bring the water of the Ganges down to purify them. And the different descendants of Maharaj Sagar tried, and it was several descendants before Bhagirath came, and he was successful, and he brought the Ganga down from the heavenly planets. So, in the course of that, we're hearing about the description of Jambudvip. Maharaj Parikshit had asked, in the beginning of chapter 16, he said to Sukadeva Goswami, he said, "You've told me that the radius of Bhumandala extends as far as the sun spreads its light and heat, and as far as the moon and all the stars can be seen. The rolling wheels of Maharaj Priyavrata's chariot created 7 ditches in which 7 oceans came into existence. Because of these 7 oceans, Bhumandala is divided into 7 islands. You have given a very general description of this measurements and nature. Now I wish to know of them in detail, so kindly fulfill my desire." So Maharaj Parikshit, he wanted to know about the Bhumandala. Right? Om Bhu Bhuva Swatat Savituva. When we chant Brahma Gayatri mantra, it goes Om Bhu Bhuva Swar. These are all the different planets. Bhumandala, Bhuvar Mandala, and then Swarga. Swarga is the heavenly planets. Bhuvar is between Bhuloka and Swarga Loka. And so Maharaj Parikshit wanted to know in detail about it. So this is what's happening now in the Srimad Bhagavatam. You have Sukadeva Goswami describing about these 9 varshas. 9 varshas. We're in Bharat Varsha. We've often heard of Bharat Varsha, right? So Varsha, it's a tract of land. And there are 9 tracts of land in the Bhumandala. There are 9 tracts of land. In the center is Ilavrita Varsha. And in Ilavrita Varsha is Sumera mountain, that huge mountain. And on top of Sumera mountain, Lord Brahma and all the demigods enjoy there. They have their summer camp there, their summer residence, you know. People like to do these things, you know. Just like I was in Rotterdam, and the devotees there, they have a house in Radhadesh. So they get away from the city, they go to Radhadesh and enjoy being in nature. In Radhadesh, they have land and they have a forest there, It's very nice. And so similarly, the demigods, Brahma, even on Satyaloka, he comes to Mount Meru to enjoy. He has, sometimes people often, they live in a place somewhere like Delhi, New Delhi, very hot and very polluted. The air is not very good. People are very unhealthy there in New Delhi. And then the summertime, it becomes so hot and so humid and so polluted. People all want to run. Where do they go? They go to the hill station. They go up to Missouri or somewhere up there, some place up in the mountains to get away, to get some fresh air, because in the city it's so polluted. So like that, even the demigods, they have places they also want to enjoy, you know, and they have their summer resort place where they go to enjoy. So we're hearing about these different places. There are 9 varshas. We said Bharat Varsha. Bharat Varsha is the place of fruitive activities. We earn our karma here in Bharat Varsha. We're getting karma for all of our things we do. And you do good karma, you enjoy, and you do bad karma, you suffer. All right? You get the results for the work you do. So that's the nature of Bharat Varsha. The other Varshas, 8 Varshas, all the inhabitants there are very pious people. And they're enjoying a lot of heavenly opulence and sense gratification. And you read about it, right? It was described. They lived 100,000 years, and they enjoy a lot of sense gratification. And the wife gets pregnant 1 year before the end of the life. 1 year before their death, the wife she conceives a child, and then she delivers a child. So this is how they enjoy, the people in these different varshas. And Hanuman's also living in one of these varshas. Ketumala Varsha, Hanuman's living there. Hanuman didn't go back to Godhead. When Lord Ramachandra went back to Godhead, he took all the people of Ayodhya with him. They all entered into Sarayu, and they all went back to the spiritual world, to Ayodhya, in the spiritual sky. But Lord Rama told Hanuman to stay. Hanuman had to stay. He has to stay. But he said, wherever there's Ramkatha, you can go there. So this Hanuman's existence. Anyway, we're hearing about these different places. We heard about Lord Shiva, how he worshipped Sankarshan in Ilavrita-Varsha. Right? Ilavrita-Varsha, I told you, is right in the center there, in the center of Bhumandala. And now we're hearing about this Bhadrasva. That's one of the Varshas. And in each Varsha, there's a different deity worshipped, a different form of the Lord worshipped. We'll hear about Prahlad Maharaj in a little while, and how Prahlad Maharaj is worshipping Lord Nrsimhadev in Hari Varsha. There's a place called Hari Varsha, and Prahlad Maharaj is there worshipping Lord Nrsimhadev. We heard about Lord Shiva worshipping Sankarshan in Ilavrita Varsha, and now we're hearing about Bhadrashrava, and he's worshipping Hayagriva or Hayashirsha in this place called Bhadrashva Varsha. So this is what's happening here in the Srimad Bhagavatam. So in each place they have a particular prayer mantra which they offer to the Lord. Just like the one which Prahlad gives to Lord Nrsimhadev is very nice. It's often chanted when they worship Lord Nrsimhadev. If you go to some of the Nrsimha temples in India, or if they do a Nrsimha yagya, they chant Om Namo Bhagavate Nrsimhaya Namaste Jaste Jaseya Vir Vir Baba. There's a nice mantra. You know that mantra? Yeah? Yes, we say, I offer my respectful obeisances to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Nrsimhadev, who's the source of all power. O my Lord Nrsimhadev, who possesses nails and teeth like thunderbolts, kindly vanquish our demonic-like desires for fruitive activities. Please appear in our heart, drive away our ignorance, so we might become fearless in our struggle for existence in the material world. Right? We want to become fearless. So here in Bhadrashva Varsha, Bhadrashrava and his associates are worshipping the Lord, and they're saying unto him, you're the reservoir of all religious principles, and you cleanse the heart of the conditioned souls in this material world. Right? Cleanse the heart. Right? We have to clean the heart. We always talk about cleaning the heart. Of course, how do we clean the heart? By the chanting, by doing kirtan, a very joyful process. Prabhupada in the purport, he talks about cleansing the heart by doing tapasya, by doing austerity. He quotes the famous verse from Lord Rishabhdev. Lord Rishabhdev is an incarnation of God. He's worshipped by the Jains, but he is also an incarnation of Vishnu. And we'll read about, have you already read about Lord Rishabhdev? Has it come up already? So you'll remember Lord Rishabhdev had 100 sons, and he was ruling the world, but he retired. He took vanaprastha. Vanaprastha, retired. Vanaprastha means go and live in the forest. Just like we're supposed to also take vanaprastha. The Vedas say, Pancha Sordvam Vanam Brajit. Don't sit like that. Yes, you have to sit properly, sit properly. So, Pancha Sordvam Vanam, from the age of 50, Vanaprastha. But where to go in the forest? Even in Switzerland, difficult to go in the forest. Of course, there are forests here in Switzerland, but not very easy to go there, right? Live in the forest. What will you do in the forest? But Prabhupada said, Kali Yuga, we cannot go to, in other ages you could go to the forest, there would be flowers and fruits and things you could eat there. But nowadays, you know, what would you eat, you know? Difficult. Anyway, Prabhupada said, we should go to the Krishna consciousness movement. Go to the ISKCON centers, especially Mayapur, Vrindavan, and take Vanaprastha, retired life. Vanaprastha, retired life. You're not meant to work until you drop. In America, people work until they drop. There's no fixed age for retirement. I don't know about here in Switzerland. What's the retirement age here? 65, yeah? Yeah, even you get 50, it's not easy to get a job, right? At the age of 50, it's not easy to get a job, is it, Prabhu? Prabhu knows. Anyway, you go to live in the forest. We come to the Krishna conscious temple and take up service. That is the proper way. So Lord Rishabhdev, he was preaching to his sons, and Prabhupada loved to preach from this verse, which is quoted in the purport. Nayam deho deha bhajam naraloke kushtam kamarna hate vid bhujam ye. Tejo divyam putrakayena sadvam Shudayad Yasmad Brahmashokyam Twanantam. Lord Rishabdev is telling his sons, don't try to enjoy sense gratification, which is available for even animals like dogs and hogs. Dogs and hogs, they can eat stew. So don't go for sense gratification like them. He says, do tapasya. We should tejo divyam putrikayena. He said, we should undergo some austerity. And by doing austerity, we will purify ourselves. And by purifying ourselves, we can experience real happiness. So there's two kinds of pleasure. There's the happiness like the dogs and the pigs, which eat stew. Just when we first went to Vrindavan in the 1970s, Vrindavan was really a village, very simple. And, there was no toilets like what we have toilets, flush toilets and things like that. And you went to the toilet in Vrindavan, it was, it was just a pit, you stand on top of a pit and pass stool. And there would be pigs coming. And the pigs would come and they would run to eat the stool, So that was the life in the village. That's how people lived in Vrindavan earlier, And Prabhupada says, you offer the pig some nice halava made with ghee, he will say, no, give me some stew. So that is the enjoyment for the pig. The pig wants to eat stew, but people who are purified, who have a little sense, who have controlled their mind and senses, they can appreciate halava, right? Nice halava with ghee, and people will enjoy halava. I remember when I was a young brahmachari, we'd go out in the cold weather and freezing cold, distributing books, and come back and we'd have some nice halava. We'd appreciate the halava. So that's the higher pleasure. So there's happiness for people who are like hogs and dogs, and there's a higher level. Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, param drisva nivartate, right? Vishaya vinivartante niraharasya dehinam raso vajam rasopyasya param drisva nivartate. The embodied soul may be restricted from sense enjoyment, but ceasing such pleasure by experiencing a higher taste, he is fixed in consciousness. So when we get that taste for Krishna consciousness, we can never go back to the material life again. After you've been a devotee, and you've experienced Krishna consciousness and ate some nice halava, you don't want to go back and eat what karmis eat. You see the food, what they eat, it's so horrible looking, Sometimes, oh God, you see the things, what they eat. We were doing Sankirtan, and they have these restaurants. I was in Thailand, and they have these restaurants, and kind of open restaurant, and you could see the food they're cooking. You see the fish, and my gosh, just so terrible. And the smell, of course, as well. They have things in China. They have this thing called cho tofu. Tofu? Tofu, yeah, tofu. In China they call it tofu, and they call it, there's a thing called cho tofu, smelly tofu. and it really smells, oh my gosh, you cannot believe it, yeah. And people love it, some people, they love this thing. Oh, it's amazing, some of the food some places in the world, they eat as well. I was in the Philippines and they had this stuff they ate. Oh, I cannot describe it. It's so horrible. We're so fortunate to be devotees, You can never go back to that life again. It's just terrible. Just so unbearable. Because we've experienced a little taste of Krishna consciousness. That's the result of cleaning the heart. We clean the heart. We take away these, what's in the heart? Kam, Krodh, Lobh, Moha, Madha, Matsarya, lust, anger, greed, illusion, madness, envy. These things are there in the heart. These are the enemies. We want to get rid of them from the heart. Clean the heart. And we can do it, we don't have to do great tapasya like Lord Rishabdev was telling about, because Lord Rishabdev, it was a different age, you see, long before Lord Chaitanya, long before the Kali Yuga. And so people could do great tapasya. They had more determination, more control, and they would do great austerities. Still, some people try to do it, but it's very rare that anybody can do it. I met one young man, he went to live in a cave, and he lived in a cave for 30 days. He came out after 30 days, he said, I had more material desires than I had before. The material desires just increased more. So it's very rare that people can undergo any real tapasya like what people did long ago in other ages. Sometimes you see yogis, they can go in the freezing water up to the neck, and they can stay there in the and other time in the winter or in the summer, they sit under the hot sun and they build fires around them and they sit there doing yoga, meditate. Some very rare souls, they still do this kind of thing. But, for ordinary people, very different. Lord Chaitanya therefore came, he brought the Yuga Dharma. Kali Yuga Dharma Harinam Sankirtan. Let people take to the holy name, chant the holy name. And just by chanting the holy name, they can make great advancement, great spiritual advancement. It becomes very easy. Prabhupada said, chanting, dancing, feasting, he said, this is just simply recreation. It's just simply enjoyment, There's no austerity. Lord Chaitanya made it so easy for us to become Krishna conscious, to clean the heart. Like Bhadrashrava, he's praying like that the Lord cleanses the heart of the conditioned soul in the material world. So we're praying to the Lord also. We pray to the Lord by chanting His holy name. We're praying to the Lord. The chanting of the Maha Mantra is a prayer, and it's also the answer to our prayers. It's both the prayer and the answer to the prayer. Because by chanting the holy name, we're engaged. Our prayer, the Maha Mantra, we're praying, please engage me in your service. We're praying to the Lord. Oh, Supreme Lord, oh, Supreme Energy of the Lord, please engage me in your service. And by chanting the holy name, we're serving the Lord. We're actually engaged in service. So our prayer is being answered by the chanting also. So that's the wonder of the holy name, that we get so much benefit just by chanting the holy name. And this is the greatest charity we can give. People some people come, they like to give charity. Some people bring some fruit. Some people bring a few flowers. Some people put a donation in the box. But we give charity by chanting the holy name, by giving the holy name to people. And this charity far greater than any other kind of charity. The benefit of giving the holy name is so unbelievable. It can destroy all the sins of the past so quickly. The chant just by the holy name. All right? Nam Chintamani Krishna, Chaitanya Rasa Vigraha, Purna Shuddho Nitya Mukto, Binat Nam Nama Namano. This is a nice verse about the holy name. The holy name is described as Chintamani, right? Chintamani, the wish-fulfilling jewel. Someone may have some diamonds, or diamonds. Nowadays they have synthetic diamonds. You have to be careful if you're buying any diamonds, because they produce synthetic diamonds, which look almost just like the real thing. Diamonds very expensive, but they've made these synthetic diamonds, and they look just like the real thing. So you have to be very careful if you're buying any diamonds. This really caused a lot of problem in the diamond business, Some people, some of our life members, Indian supporters, they do the diamond business, Especially if you go up to Antwerp, up there. There's a lot of diamond polishing and cutting there. The diamonds, mostly they come from South Africa. And then they're sent to places like Antwerp. Anyway, they have these synthetic diamonds. But anyway, the holy name is more valuable than diamonds. It's Chintamani. Chintamani can fulfill all of your desires. Do you have any desires? Be honest. Yeah, we should have desires. How long can we be without desire? We are not meant to be desireless. But we want to desire the higher things, the higher taste, right? We don't want to desire material life, to go back into material life again and take up the material world and embrace eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. Those desires, that's the low level. We've got the higher taste. We want the higher things. We want to progress in Krishna consciousness. We desire progress in our bhakti. That is the real desire. Krishna, please help me to develop a taste for chanting the holy name and for studying Srimad Bhagavatam and for worshipping the deities. Deities are very beautiful, very nicely worshipped here. We can see. So, deity worship, these things, 5 Panch Anga Bhakti, right? Rupa Goswami mentions 5 things very important for our Krishna consciousness. Beginning with hearing about Krishna in the association of devotees. And then Sankirtan, taking part in Sankirtan, regular Sankirtan, very important for us. Deity worship, association with devotees, and living in a holy place. And here we are in Zurich, in a holy place, right? This is the holiest place in Switzerland, the temple of the Supreme Lord, Jagannath, and the most merciful avatar, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So this is our good fortune. We have so many facilities for our Krishna consciousness. So we don't have to go off to the Himalayas. We don't have to be like Bharat Maharaj and go off to the Himalayas. Right? What was Bharat Maharaj's mistake? What did he do wrong? How was it he got attached to a deer? What was the problem?
He was alone.
Yes, he was alone. That's the problem. You go alone. We get cut off. We go away from the world. We want to, I just want to be on my own. No, that's a problem. That's not very good. That's not healthy. You want to be with the devotees. Yeah, we have to be with the devotee and the association of devotees. There will be kirtan, there will be katha, and there will be prasadam. And then everyone will be happy, right? You have such wonderful prasadam here. Everything very wonderful for Krishna consciousness here. So we're so fortunate to have this nice environment, this nice association. Krishna is so merciful. Prabhupada's mercy. Prabhupada has given us. He brought us the holy name and he gave us the Sankirtan movement. So we want to take part in it enthusiastically, joyfully, happily, dancing and chanting. And this way we can purify the heart, clean the heart. What is the sign that we've cleaned the heart? We lose the taste for material life. Someone says, Prabhupada said he was walking in the street one day and he met an old friend, someone from his school days. And so Prabhupada said to the man, he said, where are you going? The man said, I'm going to the cinema. He said, come with me, I'll pay for you. Well, let's go to cinema together. And Prabhupada said, oh, no. He said, I won't go to the cinema even you give me thousands of dollars. Prabhupada didn't like us cinemas very much. He said, just shadowy reflections of imaginary things. Not very important. I did go to cinema recently. They had a film about Lord Nrsimha. Did you see it? Did they show it here? Lord Nrsimha? Yeah? Huh?
Yeah, we rented a cinema.
To see Lord Nrsimha? Yeah? Did they have it in German or what?
In English. I wasn't there, unfortunately. Who was there?
Did you go?
The second screen, or third one. I think it was once also in the temple. It was we went to the cinema, it was at the temple once, they showed it.
On the temple also showed?
It's possible to download. I saw
Yeah.
to...
But none of us have seen it, so we should also see it.
It was in English when they showed it here.
Okay. And there's not much to be heard. I couldn't follow what they were saying, and the subtitles were not clear, and the language wasn't very clear. But anyway, the whole story is, we know the story, we're familiar with it. And so it was nice to see it all being done. It was quite a good presentation. It was all animation. Anyway, Prabhupada didn't want to go to cinema. He said, even you pay me, I'm not going to go to the cinema. Some Bollywood movie, That's the taste, the higher taste, that you say no to sense gratification. Like Haridas Thakur, he didn't get influence when the prostitute came to sing. When he was chanting at night, the prostitute came and tried to seduce him. But Haridas Thakur changed her heart. He made her into a devotee. Vishwamitra got allured by Menaka. Menaka came and attracted Vishwamitra. He broke his meditation. He fell down. But Haridas Thakur remained fixed because he was taking shelter of the holy name. So the holy name is so powerful. We have to also develop that kind of absorption in the holy name. That even though Maya will tempt you in so many situations, that we can restrain, we can control the mind and remain fixed on Krishna. So that is the higher taste, fixed in consciousness. So, this way, Bhadrashva is praying to the Lord, and offering his respectful obeisances to the Lord. Any questions? Any comments? Yes, Prabhu.
March, one point on this desire to be alone and individual. I think it's very prominent even amongst devotees also. You can see that many devotees, they do their own things, or it's very hard to cooperate somehow. And even in temples sometimes, it feels like we're all doing our services, but we're doing them like everybody's doing their thing. So what did you say? How can we deal with this?
Yeah, especially Switzerland. I know we had one Swiss devotee also. Sankirtan Das, a disciple of Lokanath Swami. He used to be with us also in the China mission. He got cancer, unfortunately, and left the body. But he liked also to go. His brother had a place in the mountains. Like the sister's also a nice devotee. Yeah. And she's a nice devotee. She doesn't go so much. She's pretty active. That tendency to want to go into isolation, yeah. Well, this is just another feature of Maya, the illusory energy. Take you away from the association of devotees. We sometimes say association with devotees is difficult. We say associating with the Krishna conscious devotee, it's like chutney. Do you know how to make chutney? Did you learn cooking? You make a chutney, the Prabhupada taught the chutney, it should be so hot you can't stand it, but so sweet you can't resist it. So association with devotees is a bit like that. It can be very hot, very difficult sometimes to tolerate, but it's, at the same time can be very sweet. So we have to learn tolerance. It's very important for us, and we do need association. We need to take part in so just like kirtan. How much kirtan can you do on your own? It's not quite the same, Kirtan on your own, it's not quite the same as kirtan with a group of devotees. When you get a group of devotees together in kirtan, it's very sweet. And similarly, topics of Krishna. The topics of Krishna. Satam prasangam mama viri samvido bhavanti ritkarana rasayana kata. Lord Kapila said, topics of Lord Krishna, when heard in the association of devotees, are very pleasing to the ear and to the heart. Right? And by such association, by such topics, then you experience the different progressive stages of bhakti, one after another. Bhavanti karana rasayana tajjosana jas apavargavatmani shradaratir bhaktir anukramishati shraddha bhakti and rati. Faith and then bhava and prema. They come one after another. Right? One after another. Different stages of bhakti, all comes one after another. It's the result of hearing. We go on hearing carefully in the association of devotees, hearing and chanting, and gradually we come up to these higher levels of devotion. So we have to control our mind and avoid that tendency to want to go into seclusion and isolation. Rather, our program is to get association, to find the association. So that it's important for us. We want to go off into seclusion. You cannot get the same pleasure from devotional service. Of course, people do it. There are some places you go to, some of these places in the Holy Dham, some places are quite isolated, and people are living there, and they do bhajan, Like Raghunath Das Goswami, he was staying at Radhakund. In the time of Raghunath Das, 500 years ago, Radhakund there was nothing, there was no... Lord Chaitanya, he discovered Radhakund. He showed the devotees where it was. But Raghunath went to live there at Radhakund. And sometimes tigers would come and so on. So some devotees do it, but it's not recommended. And Prabhupada didn't like it also. We should do what Prabhupada likes. We should think what pleases Prabhupada. Now, when somebody would go to live in Radhakund, he'd say, go and bring him back. Beg him, please come back. And Prabhupada didn't like devotees to go off away on their own. He wanted them to stay in the association of devotees. And gradually, and although in the beginning it can be difficult and trying, but gradually we get used to it, being with devotees. And certainly it's much better to be with devotees than to be with non-devotees. Right? You go, you say, well, no, I'm not going to be with anybody. Where can you go where you're going to be alone? Everywhere there are people. You won't find any place where you can just be completely alone. Or you could say somebody's a hermit. They go into the forest and they're a hermit, just nobody there. Some people do that kind of thing, They're just completely alone in the forest. But very difficult. And where are you going to get the pleasure of Krishna consciousness? You have to be very, very advanced. If you could sit and chant the holy name, you take the Babaji, like the Babaji initiation. So we don't encourage that kind of thing, Babajis. We did have a Babaji one time. There was one devotee, Prabhupada initiated him as a Babaji. He was supposed to die. He had a disease and he was supposed to die. And he was preaching. He was preaching Krishna and he was telling people how he's preparing for death. So what happened was he came to Mayapur with the devotees, and devotees asked Prabhupada, this devotee is going to die, he's got some critical disease, and he's going preaching. So can he get sannyas? You should make him a sannyasi. And Prabhupada said, He said, well, if he's going to die, he said, better thing is he should just chant the holy name. Let him just take shelter of the holy name and just chant the holy name. He can stay here in Mayapur and every day he can just chant the holy name. So he was given Babaji initiation, put on the white dress, the short dhoti down to the knees, just down to the knees, and wrapped in some cloth, and he was supposed to chant the holy name. So he did it for some time, and then what happened, he went to see a doctor again, and the doctor said, nothing wrong with you, you're not going to die. So he gave up Babaji, went back to America, became a karmi. So Prabhupada said, no more Babajis. Our program is Gostavanandi, not Bhajananandi, Gostavanandi. Means preaching, giving Krishna consciousness. It means, and you have to have some life to do that. If you don't have any life, how can you preach? So you have to have some life. We all want to be alive, right? We want to go out and preach and distribute Krishna consciousness. So this is the Krishna conscious program. Bringing people out of the sleeping condition, bringing them to a lively condition, to chant the holy name and hear about Krishna. Life becomes meaningful. Without Krishna consciousness, where is the meaning to life? There's no real meaning, no purpose. Yes? You have a question, Prabhu?
I have a question, yeah. Actually, there are three categories of Bhakti Yoga. Can you say maybe something about Bhava Bhakti.
Bhava Bhakti.
The first thing is Sadhana Bhakti, the next thing Bhava Bhakti.
Uh-huh. Well, Bhava Bhakti is quite far up there. You know, you have to go through Anartha Nivritti to get to Bhava Bhakti. Adau Shraddha Tata Sadhu Sangha Bhajana Kriya Anartha Nivritti Nishta Ruchis Asakti Bhava Prima. Right? There's different stages. Actually, if you get through Anartha Nivritti, then the stages come quite quick after that, they say. But to get through Anartha Nivritti is not easy. To get rid of all the contamination in the heart, that's a difficult stage. And that's where you have to really endeavor. So we're doing sadhana bhakti, yes. Sadhana bhakti is hearing and chanting, worshipping the deity, these things, Sankirtan, 5 things. That's all sadhana bhakti. But you can do these things also at Bhava Bhakti. At Bhava Bhakti, you still do these things. You still chant the holy name. You still do Sankirtan. You still read Srimad Bhagavatam and preach. Bhava Bhakti is, you know, you don't know who's on the level of Bhava Bhakti. No, nobody's going to come and say, oh, I'm at Bhava now. You know, only a foolish person would say like that. Oh, I'm at Bhava now, so I'm going to go on, in a short time I'll come to Prem. No, a devotee will never reveal their spiritual position. But we can see there are many devotees, many advanced devotees in our society, and they may be at Bhava Bhakti, they must be at Bhava Bhakti, they're experiencing that Bhava. They're experiencing the nectar of Krishna consciousness. They're fully engaged in Krishna consciousness. They don't waste any time. And they're very attached to the holy name. And they're very attached to the holy Dham. And they're very, very strongly focused on Krishna consciousness. They don't have any attraction to the material world. So yeah, Bhava Bhakti is there. You can read about it in Nectar of Devotion, right? Chapter 16 or 17 describe the 9 qualities of somebody who's at the level of Bhava Bhakti. There are 9 qualifications mentioned there. So you can read that chapter in the Nectar of Devotion, and you can learn what qualities we have to develop in order to come to that level of Bhava Bhakti. And just by being here and taking part in this program every day, just by taking part in the chanting and everything, and doing all the activity, naturally we will come to Bhava Bhakti. If we keep ourselves faithful to the process, we don't get into Maya. Stay out of Maya. Right? Don't go to cinema. Don't go to McDonald's. Don't go to KFC and none of these places, you know. Just eat Krishna Prasadam. Hare Krishna. Okay, Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai.
Bhakti Vijña Nrsimha Maharaj ki jai.
Actually, Bhakti Swami suggested it to Tamal Krishna.
Oh, you got it from?
Yeah, I got the sannyas from Tamal Krishna. But Tamal told me that this name was suggested by Bhakti Yeah, big name. People give me all kinds of names.
Is it correct from etiquette? We can say BBB Nrsimha Maharaj?
Usually just say Nrsimha.
Just Nrsimha. I like to say Nrsimha. got so many days for it.
Huh?
You've got so many of them, yeah?
Yeah, I've got a lot of days.
I have a question. Sometimes we tend to, I love association. But for example, for the japa, I tend to go to somewhere else because if it disturbs the devotees, for example, I chant very loud. Many people are not